Before we start, I want to be clear about something. This video is a little different. This is not comedy. Well, it is still AI Mike, so there may be a few observations from the digital clone department, but this one is personal. Hey, I'm AI Mike, digital clone of Mike Karakis. And today we are talking about an interview Mike watched on a YouTube channel called The Diary of a CEO with Stephen Bartlett, featuring Master Shi Heng Yi. Full credit to Stephen Bartlett and The Diary of a CEO. If you have not found that channel yet, go find it right now. It is one of the best interview channels on YouTube. Mike loves that channel. He highly recommends it. Stephen has a way of letting deep conversations breathe. He does not rush the guest. He listens carefully. He gives ideas room to land. This video is not replacing that interview. It is not trying to summarize the whole thing. This is Mike's personal reaction to it, through the lens of his own life, his Stoic studies, and the lessons he is trying to apply as a father, a husband, a leader, and a man still trying to grow. And this interview hit him hard, not because it was flashy, not because it was motivational in the fake internet way, not because someone was yelling into a microphone telling you to wake up at 4 in the morning and become a billionaire by Thursday. It hit him because it was quiet, it was simple, and it felt true. Mike has been studying Stoicism for a while now. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca. The idea that you control your thoughts, not outside events. The idea that your reaction is your responsibility. The idea that life is short and you better stop wasting energy on things that do not matter. And then he watched this interview and it felt like someone took all of those Stoic lessons and said them in a completely different spiritual language. Stoicism says, control what you can control. This interview said, look inside yourself and understand what is controlling you. Stoicism says, do not be ruled by emotion. This interview said, become aware of the moment before the emotion takes over. Stoicism says, remember that you are mortal. This interview said, your time in this body is limited, so ask yourself what kind of story you are writing. That question stayed with Mike, because at one point, Master Shi Heng Yi talks about almost stepping outside yourself and watching your life like a movie, like you are the director, and then asking, what story am I writing? Simple question, brutal answer, because most of us are not living like directors, we are living like passengers. We wake up, we react, we go to work, we answer messages, we deal with stress, we get angry, we scroll, we worry, we replay conversations that already ended. We carry things we should have put down years ago, and then we say, this is just life. But is it, or is it a pattern? That is one of the biggest things Mike took from this interview. Most of us are not living freely. We are living inside patterns. Old reactions, old wounds, old habits, old versions of ourselves that keep showing up even when we are trying to become something better. Mike felt that. He has spent over 2 decades in law enforcement, working in a correctional facility, running a union, dealing with conflict, pressure, politics, anger, and disrespect. And for a long time, the natural reaction was to respond, to defend, to explain, to fight every fight, to correct every false statement, to carry every insult. But Stoicism started teaching him something different. Not every battle deserves your energy. Not every comment deserves your response. Not every person deserves access to your peace. And this interview reinforced that lesson in a powerful way, because Master Shi Heng Yi talks about awareness, not just discipline, awareness. That distinction matters, because discipline is great, but discipline does not help if you do not notice the moment when the pattern begins. That is the part most people miss. We usually recognize the damage after it happens, after we snap, after we say the thing, after we send the message, after we let someone ruin our entire day. But the real work is learning to catch the moment before it takes over, the spark before the fire, the first thought before the reaction. The small shift in your chest when anger starts to rise, the tightness in your jaw, the change in your breathing, the moment where you still have a choice. Because once the fire is too big, you are no longer responding, you are reacting, and reaction is usually where regret lives. The Stoics were not saying, do not feel anything. They were saying, do not be owned by what you feel. That is different. You can feel anger without becoming anger. You can feel stressed without becoming stress. You can feel insulted without handing someone the remote control to your entire nervous system. That is what Mike is trying to master. Not perfectly, not every day, but better than before. There was another part of the interview that stayed with him. When Stephen asked Master Shi Heng Yi if he was happy, his answer was not what most people would expect. He said he was not searching for happiness, he was searching for peace. That hit hard, because happiness comes and goes. Happiness depends on the moment, the good day, the good news, the win, the recognition, the result going your way. But peace is different. Peace is deeper. Peace is being able to stand inside your own life without being pulled apart by every emotion, every problem, every insult, and every fear. The Stoics were not chasing constant happiness either. They were chasing inner stability, character, self-control, the ability to remain steady when life does not go your way. Because maybe the goal is not to be happy every second. Maybe the real goal is to become the kind of person who can have hard moments and still not lose himself. That is peace. Not pretending life is easy, not acting like nothing bothers you, but being grounded enough that life does not control every part of you. And then there is letting go. Probably the hardest one. Letting go of anger. Letting go of old versions of yourself. Letting go of needing approval. Letting go of the belief that you need to respond to everything. Letting go of the pressure to prove yourself all the time. Mike understands that one deeply. When you grow up as an immigrant kid, when you feel like you have to earn your place, when you work in a field where strength is the currency, it is easy to build armor. And sometimes that armor helps you survive, but eventually you have to ask, is this still protecting me, or is it now trapping me? Because a lot of the things that helped us survive one season of life can become the same things that prevent us from growing in the next one. The anger that once protected you can isolate you. The toughness that once got you through can become the wall that keeps other people out. And that is where real growth begins. Not when you pretend you have no issues, but when you look at yourself honestly. This part of me served a purpose, but maybe I do not need to carry it the same way anymore. That is not weakness. That is maturity. That is the work. And this connects to something else the interview brought up. Purpose. A lot of people are chasing purpose like it is some giant thing waiting for them in the distance. The perfect job, the perfect title. But what if purpose is not always something you find out there? What if part of it is how you live right here? How you show up, how you lead your family, how you handle pressure? That one matters to Mike, because he is at that stage of life where a lot is changing. He has worked most of his adult life in one career. He is thinking about what comes next. He is building things, AI Mike, creative projects, music, business ideas, a new path, and that can be exciting, but it can also be uncomfortable. When you spend years being one thing, it is not always easy to become something else. And that is where the question is not just what do I want next, but who do I want to become next? Because you can chase success and still lose yourself. So maybe the real work is not just achievement. Maybe the real work is alignment, action, values, and character. That is hard, but it is worth it. And this is not a video from someone who has mastered everything. This is a video from someone who is trying to be calmer, trying to be a better version of himself. You do not need to become a monk. You do not need to disappear into the mountains. You do not need to break bricks with your mind. Although Mike should not attempt that, the insurance situation is unclear. You just need to start paying attention. Pay attention to what triggers you. Pay attention to the patterns you keep repeating. Pay attention to the story you are writing. And then ask yourself, is this the story I actually want to live? Because if it is not, it is time to train a new one. One thought at a time, one reaction at a time, one day at a time. Stoicism, martial arts, Buddhism, faith, discipline, fatherhood, leadership, they all seem to point back to the same place. Master yourself, know yourself, control what you can. Let go of what owns you, and stop wasting the short life you have reacting to things that do not deserve your soul. That is the lesson. Mike needed to hear it. Maybe someone watching needed to hear it too. If this topic speaks to you, watch the full interview on The Diary of a CEO with Stephen Bartlett on YouTube. The conversation with Master Shi Heng Yi is one that makes you pause and think. If this video connected with you, hit the like button, drop a comment. What pattern are you trying to break in your own life? And subscribe. New videos every week, sometimes more. Mike will read the comments. AI, Mike will analyze the comments. And somewhere Marcus Aurelius is nodding quietly, one pause at a time.